Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carter Walker. I love talking about movies, music, comics, and games. I just got out of Renfield, starring Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage, Awkwafina as well, and I kind of just wanted to talk about it real fast. My phone is almost dead. That's what I use to record on, and I have finals to work on. But I just wanted to do kind of a little quick review because I've heard some people talking about this movie, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. It was decent. It was fun. So starting out with the positives for Renfield, it's just like a very fun, easy movie. You know, it's easy to go see. You don't need a lot of like background knowledge to get in and go see it. You know, it's Dracula and his familiar Renfield. They do a great job of explaining everything in the movie. The comedy is very light and it's pretty funny. There's a lot of great dark humor in there. The violence and the action is pretty well done, except for maybe a few complaints here and there. And overall, Renfield is super likable, and it's awesome to watch Nick Cage just go full Nick Cage as Dracula. And the movie is just like a breezy, hour and a half, so you can just walk right in and beat out in an hour and a half. And I can't complain. It's nice to go see a movie that's super quick nowadays, and it's super digestible, very fun to watch. So I had a good time with Renfield. I think the casting and the performances are all pretty great, except for a few of them. The story is pretty decent. It doesn't have anything like too crazy, no massive twists or turns. I did enjoy a lot of the codependency stuff with Renfield and Dracula. Made the film a lot more interesting and kind of gave Hoult and Cage a lot more material to work with, which I ended up really enjoying. Going into the mix a little bit, sometimes the comedy didn't quite hit as well as it should have. A lot of the jokes, especially from Awkwafina's side, fell flat. The pacing can kind of slow down quite a bit when it goes to Awkwafina's side of the story. She's a cop trying to get justice for her father in this town. Something that I didn't expect because I only saw the one trailer that played before like every movie 4 or 5 months ago, and it was kind of caught me off guard. I enjoyed that aspect of the story. It wasn't anything too crazy. I think they were able to tie it up nicely. However, in the first 2/3, it kind of feels a little weird, a little disconnected from everything, and then you can kind of see where it's going after that, and it ties itself up. But it does feel a little disconnected at first, and I don't think that the comedy, especially from Awkwafina's side again, really lands as well as it should. Comedy is, of course, subjective, so maybe other people were laughing. Just me and the 2 other people in my theater didn't really laugh a whole lot. Sometimes, there were some great jokes, which is why it's in the mixed category. But again, some of that comedy just fell a little flat. Kind of rounding out my mix, kind of just a small nitpick here is I think a lot of the CGI blood really didn't look as good as it could have. I liked that because it was CGI, they could just have like fountains and geysers of blood everywhere. When people get their arms ripped off or their heads knocked off, blood everywhere. It's super gory, which I really enjoyed. It's a fun time. But again, sometimes that CGI blood kind of like bothered me. It got on my nerves. I was like, oh my gosh, here we go again. For my negative side, I really don't like to be this guy because I know it's very easy to get characterized on the internet as this. But I don't think Awkwafina is a good actor. Or actress. I don't think she does a good job here. Her material just doesn't really work for me. She's very, very static. She's very wooden with who she is in every single movie. She's that girl that's like, oh come on, just like that type of personality. And sometimes it works. There's moments in Shang-Chi where it works pretty well. There's a few moments in Renfield where it works, but I think for the most part, I just don't enjoy her comedy, her style of comedy. I don't find her as funny or as good of an actress as some people do, and I might come into fire for that because she's a woman, and I guess I don't know, people are hating on her performance for this, but it's just not my favorite. It didn't really jive with me. I'm not like gonna hate tweet her or go on Instagram and hate comment her, but I just don't think that she did that great of a job. Maybe the material wasn't as strong. The script is noticeably not as fun or inventive when it switches away from Renfield. So it's not entirely her fault. You can tell that a lot of this movie is focused on that codependency relationship with Renfield and Dracula, and the story involving them, and they have a clear end goal in mind, but then they kind of have to build towards it, so they have to switch between Awkwafina and Renfield and this and that, and I don't think it really jives as well as it could. So that's kind of my only negative for the movie. Overall, Renfield is fun. It's a great time at the theater. I enjoyed myself. I just went because I really had nothing else to do. Didn't want to type my papers for finals, so that was pretty cool. It's a nice hour and a half, breezy pace. It has a few missteps here and there. Some comedy doesn't work as well as it should, and some of the performances aren't that good, but Nick Cage as Dracula is just a ton of fun, and I really do love Nicholas Hoult. He's on a hot streak right now between this and The Menu. Can't wait to see what he does next. So overall, I'd give Renfield probably a 6.5 out of 10. Go and see it if you have the chance on Tuesday. Tomorrow night, I'm seeing The Pope's Exorcist and then Evil Dead Rise on Thursday, so stay tuned for those reviews. I'm also working on a Social Network review that I'm putting out. If you want to see something that's going to be kind of like that, I did just put out a 500 Days of Summer Anatomy of a Scene assignment I did for class. Let me know if you saw Renfield down in the comments below. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'm Carter, and as always, have a great rest of your day.